Rick Bozich and Eric Crawford are joining us now, and guys, you both write about the fact that when Denny first came here, it was likely going to be a part-time thing, maybe a few years, and then on to bigger and better things. He ends up staying here and making this his home and making this where he makes his legacy.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, he was John Wooden's right-hand man when he really was rolling at UCLA, and I think everybody thought when John Wooden retired, Denny Crum would get the call. And then the first 2 or 3 guys who followed John Wooden failed, and everybody thought UCLA really wants to go after Coach Crum. But this is where Coach Crum wanted to be. It's where he stayed. It's where he put roots in the ground. And what's really struck me today, Tom, is like those players who played for him just loved him so much and turned to him for advice in life decisions for what, jobs or what they wanted to do with their career. And we've had so many of them come into the station today wanting to share their memories.
Yeah, and really, as you say, Rick, kind of like a second father, I guess, to a lot of these guys there.
He was to a lot of these guys. They didn't know. I remember Jim Price, who was on his first team, talking about when Pat Hickman told them we're hiring a guy named Denny Crum. He's like, Crum, that's not a coach's name. And then they said he's from UCLA, and it got everybody's attention. You guys are also proof. Denny came. He wasn't from here, like so many in this community. He comes from outside and winds up spending rest of his life here to a large degree. You guys have spent decades here. You weren't from here, but you came here. So many people either knew, met, had interaction with him, and had that same experience he did.
Yeah, one of my first dealings with him was early 90s. I'm covering the Metro Conference tournament. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm the only one out there. I've got a camera. I don't know what the policies are. And he could not have been nicer. He was asking if he could hold my microphone during the interview and gave me as much time as I needed. Didn't know me from Adam, but really that's the way he treated everybody he came in contact with, wasn't it?
Consistently. I mean, his practices were open. His locker rooms were open. He wanted you to get to know the players, which was great, and allowed you to develop relationships with them and tell great stories about the University of Louisville basketball team. And he made Louisville a national brand. I mean, Louisville had been successful before he got here with Wes Unseld and Butch Beard and those guys. But from 1980 to 1986, those 7 seasons when they went to 4 Final Fours and won 2 national titles, that's an unmatched period in University of Louisville basketball history. And Louisville became, a national force.
Yeah, as Eric and I were talking earlier, I didn't grow up here, but that's what I knew about Louisville when I first came here was Louisville basketball. Yeah,
and he, like you said, they were the fashionable address for 6 years, really. Nobody, and most programs don't have a 6-year run of the kind that they had with the kind of players they had, and the style of play. He brought a more free style of play. All the players said he let us be ourselves on and off the court, which wasn't always the case then. It's not always the case now, and they appreciated that.
Both Rick and Eric have terrific stories up right now on WDRB.com on the legacy and impact of Denny Crum.